I've been collecting art since 2015. I have over 700 pieces in my collection and about 500 on display in my home. I just love the feeling of living with art on a daily basis. It can be hard to host collection tours all the time, so I wanted to make this video to share my collection with you. Hello, come on in. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. I'm giving a collection tour. We're in the main room of the house. I did a collection tour a couple years ago, but I wanted to do one more before I moved. We went around sort of the rest of the house first last time. This time we're gonna start in the main room, show you the best stuff first, because I think that's the fun way to do it. Starting off with the Gina Beavers. The Gina Beavers is one of the centerpieces of the collection, one of the pieces I'm most proud of collecting. This was bought from Marion Boesky Gallery a few years ago, and I just love having it in my collection. We also have the Eniwa Mora. This is a bigger, earlier Eniwa Mora piece. There's two faces on this, and I got that from Ross Kramer Gallery. And then this is sort of one of my favorite walls of mostly originals. We have the Sidney and Haley Jimenez sculptures, sort of keeping guard over all these amazing paintings, a couple drawings. So this is a Jess Felice painting that I bought straight from her studio a while back. One of my favorite stories is that this has sort of like an uncompleted piece on the back. Don't normally show this off. She's gonna hate me for fucking doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. So this is like a fun little moment that she obviously doesn't do that anymore, but I'm super lucky to have something like this. And we'll put it back up here. Perfect. We have some Soyun Lee pieces. These three pieces here also have a fun story. When I moved to this place, they got sent to my old spot and actually got lost in the mail for a while, and someone had stole them for like 18 months, and I had to hire a lawyer to get them back. So that's like a fun one. These are some rare Sidney Jimenez paintings. She doesn't really paint anymore. She mostly does sculpture work like this. We have a Rebecca Morgan with her laptop. This one was called Buy This Piece and Buy Me a Laptop, sort of insinuating that she was going to use the funds from that piece to get herself a laptop. We have a Jillian Evelyn, she's a good friend, as well as Kristen Lu Wong has a piece here, and a bunch of stuff down here. She watches my dog Hayes with her husband Luke Pelletier when I'm out of town. We have some Robin Francesca Williams, a Mia Scarpa in the middle, some Haley Jimenez pieces, and can't forget the Clarice piece down here, one of my favorites. And then just like a Laura Waters and an Ella Redmond. And I think I missed this one, but this one's done by Black Bob Ross is her Instagram. Also known as Lauren Levitt. So let's work our way around the room. We're gonna sort of look over here at some other sculptures and stuff we have. You'll notice throughout the house, there's a bunch of Albert Reyes pieces sort of like on these little banisters, sort of like areas. Albert's one of the sweetest artists I know. He brings me gifts every time he comes over, and I just love the guy so much. So these are some of the drawings that I've either purchased or been gifted over the years. We have some Huskmint Nav pieces. These two are originals and these two are prints. I love how sort of the frame becomes an element of the art itself, right? The scratching of the key, the rain on the glass, the etched glass of the spider, and the Pollock sort of drip painting. We have a Mia Scarpa here, Miranda Bick, some pieces by Nadia, a painting and a drawing, and this was a piece that I actually picked up from Barcelona when I was there a few years ago. It's a piece by Patricia Paz. I just saw that in a store and really liked it. This is some of the stuff I make. I make the flower stems with the Murakami flowers. And a couple years ago, I was like, why am I only making stems for Murakami? I'm gonna make some of my own. So that's what those are. We have a Calvin Ceramics piece. He now goes by Wong Wei Ceramics on Instagram. This is actually 2 pieces. I have an opening video of this that I think is really cool. We have a Yuki Ando sculpture from Ross Kramer. He works out of the same studio as Eni Uemura, so that's how I discovered him. Behind those pieces are some Hashimoto Tomonari sculptures. I just thought the finish on them were so cool. Over here we have some Super Future Kid. It's like a bong as well as just like a full figure. And it's funny, these are actually, I'll pick this up too. This is foam, so it's like not even a ceramic. It's sort of foam put together with acrylic. That's why the image is so bright. And I really like sort of the makeup of that, how it turns out. I think that's really fun. And then we have some more original here and a couple prints, I guess, too. So we have the Hiroshi print, a Luc Pelletier piece, a Yu Maeda piece, another Jess Felice drawing, a Bone Thrower original, a Sick Kid. And finally, this drawing is by Kaichi Tanami. Here's the other sculpture side. In the middle of the sculpture centerpiece is this Cleon Peterson edition. There's 3 of these. It's the 3-foot marcher. I went and saw his show in Denver, a museum show. Saw this piece in person, absolutely fell in love. We have some more Cleon Petersons down here, which I really love. We have some Javier Callejas. And here are some pieces by Monica Kim Garza. We have some more Sydney and Haley Jimenez pieces. A lot of these are Sydney's. We have some Taylor Lee niche ceramics, sculptures. Up there is a Damien Hirst edition. That was the NFT turned physical. A Daniel Arsham lamp. We have a shelf for Hiroshi that I really like. A Megan Barnes shelf. Megan used to make these butts, but switched over recently, and it's been doing more freeform stuff that almost look like dioramas of places in Los Angeles. And this was sort of like a transition moment where she started to make the figures before she started to make the dioramas. I love the work. I'm so happy that I have those. We have some Yu Maeda sculptures, got these a while ago, a lot from Super Chief, and then some pieces by Austin Taylor. Austin Taylor and I actually worked on a bronze, so this is sort of the ceramic, and this is the bronze version of that ceramic. And then I have some Hebrew Brantley stuff down below as well. As we work our way over, we have some more sculptures here. This shelf is fun. We got my dog Hayes. Hi Hayes, yeah, you gonna bother us throughout the whole tour? You're just gonna tag along, cool. So a lot of these sculptures are mine, all of these and all of these. In the middle here, we have a Gina Deaver sculpture. And then we have a bunch of other original sculptures here. I'll just point out a few. We have the Sydney Jimenez and Haley Jimenez collab cup. Sydney sculpted it and Haley added sort of the etching of the figures. There's like a Haley only made cup here. We have Emily Youngbeck did the Hello Kitty with the tiger. This is a fun one. This is one of Jack's fireworks that he made and sold in the backyard of Jeffrey Deitch. We have sort of a piece by Colin and a bunch of others. Here's a whole nother area. Starting up top, we have like a fun pandemic piece by Luc Pelletier. We have a Sydney Jimenez sculpture. That's a portrait sculpture she made. We have a Soriyama middle finger that I really, really love. And then there's a Murakami stem. That's Murakami and I's collab piece. He signed it and did his little flower mark on there, which I'm super happy with. We have a couple Dan Lamb originals and a bunch of the minis. So I love collecting the minis, they're so fun. And I got some of the originals way, way, way back when, probably like 2017 now. We have some niche ceramics and some Eni Uemura pieces. There's a bronze, an original ceramic and a vinyl, and then a ceramic cup. We have the Genesis Bellerange bronze, some Soyun Lee vinyl and ceramics. We have a Devon Troy ashtray and marijuana leaf smoking. And then we have a Royal Haman lighter with the Lego fire on top. And then there's a whole shelf dedicated to Daniel Arsham, sort of one of the early artists I collected, with the Pikachu, the Hollow figure, the Game Boy. This is like a fun moment where like the Game Boy game actually comes out and goes back in. So that's pretty cool. Got a bunch of plushes over here. Above the TV, you can see some other sort of pieces. There's the Katsu. He makes those with drones. Use what is dominant in a culture to change it quickly. That's a Jenny Holzer that I'm really, really happy with. That was sort of like the first acquisition of a really major piece. We have the Jim Carrey original drawing of him as Ace Ventura. It was sort of one of the only self-portraits from that show that he did. We have the Damien Hirst here, and then we have the Jesse Morseberger Link sort of hiding behind the plant there. If you'll notice, there's a bunch of UFOs sort of hanging everywhere throughout the house. Some of them had fallen down, but some of them have stayed up, so I love those. We have a Kristen Lu Wong puppet-like figure sort of hanging from where like a hanging plant should go, and then a bunch of other Sick Kid pieces. I love that. Speaking of Sick Kid, we'll move back over here. We have a Sick Kid sculpture. It's a Bible with some graphic drawings inside, and he even said that this is his real shirt and real socks. This was in his Super Chief Solo. It wasn't on the price list. I had to ask if they would be willing to sell me this. I'm super happy to have it in my collection. I had to kind of push for it. We have some Josh Sperling vases with the first flowers that I ever made. Some Japanese puzzle boxes. If you ever come over to my house, remind me to show you the puzzle boxes. They're so fun to solve. They're all different. And then we've got a mom and a dad and a daughter carrying fish by Jean Julien that were offered by Nanzuka Underground. Over here, we have sort of like a whole thing leading into the kitchen. This is a Sarah Cotton original painting, a Paul Verdell, a Damien Hirst, and two Emily Fur pieces. I met Emily in South Carolina when I visited there. I did an interview with her, so check that out. We have a Dabs Mila Outer Space piece, a Paul Insect original. I have like a bunch of his prints, but that was the one original that I have. We have a Jeffrey Chung original from New Image Art, a Brandon Diener drawing, a David Ho drawing, an Eni Wamora drawing, and a James Jean print. This is like probably one of my favorite edition James Jean that I have. Always wanted an original James Jean, but haven't figured that out quite yet. They're so hard to get, they go so quickly. And then two Albert Reyes pieces. This is like a print. And then he always does these haunted cups, almost looking like jack-o'-lanterns. He finds the cups, cleans them out, and then adds the face. If we round this corner, we've got my flower wall. So I started making art myself since the last video. Really, really proud of all this stuff. And these are some of the flower paintings I've made. There's the grid form paintings, and like I was saying before, it sort of came from the Murakami stems, turned in sort of to my own original version, where it's instead of the Murakami flower, it's my flower. And then I started doing them on canvas as well, getting more and more experimental, sort of layering different paints. I love the ones that are all sort of like crazy and weird, and then the sort of like iconic grid ones are really fun too. We have one other little area in here. This is a fun Albert Reyes piece. We either did a trade or he gave this to me for my birthday. I can't even remember. We have some Takashi Murakami pieces, a Luke Pelletier action figure. We have some Katie Kimmel. This is Hayes, and that's my old cat Tigger. We have some Wong Wei sculptures here, and Anta did like a 3D printing. He brought this for one of my birthdays. He still 3D prints. Check out his Instagram and you can see sort of all the stuff he's working on. We have a Sew Your Soul sort of array of plush toys. I did an interview with her recently in Miami. Thought that was so cool. Her real name's Lucy Sparrow. Sow Your Souls or Instagram. And then Jillian Evelyn did this fun sort of busty vase. So I was like, obviously the fruit have to go in there. Some older Megan Barn pieces, and then a bunch of other sculptures up here. So yeah, we finished up over here. And last time we kind of started going this way. This time we're gonna finish that way. I'm gonna start off by showing you like a couple cool areas over here. I've got the Sasha Filimonov sniper. He made this for me to help me protect my place from scam callers or anyone else who's gonna come run up on me. Obviously it's not gonna actually hurt anyone. And then I call this sort of the amuse-bouche, the entryway of the home, where you have a bunch of different works. It's the Damien Hirst, Chase Barnes, Luke Pelletier, Kristen Wong, Eni Wamora, Albert Reyes, Michael Morris, Kayla Mattis, my own piece, and a bunch of others. We got the Pat Perry, the Dabs Mila, the Kaylin Strauss, and the Albert Reyes. We have the August piece. This was a gift. I really love this one. The Dabs Mila and the Greg Mike. And then last time I sort of showed off my storage, the garage. Go check out the last video if you want to see that. But this time we're gonna skip that and just head right into the black bathroom. This bag is obviously shaped how it's shaped. It's a Jillian Evelyn bag. I showed you sort of the busty holder of the fruit for the Lucy Sparrows. This is the bag that it came in. We have some fun Soriyama pieces in the corner. We have the Philippe Pantone, the Adam Parker Smith, the Kathy Akers sculptures, a couple other sculptures by me, some bronzes that I helped produce. If you're ever interested in getting into the bronze scene, I make bronzes, so just hit me up and we can make some bronzes together. The Paul Insect and the Eni Wamora. So these are two pieces by my grandma. She's sort of one of the only blood-related artists that I have in the family. This is a piece by C.J. Hendry that I really like. And then we'll work our way into my bedroom. Obviously, the first big thing you see is the Jess Felice piece. This is a portrait of Hayes and I. Hayes, come here. Yeah, my puppy Hayes. So she's super excited to be a part of the video. I was super happy with this piece. This was a commission that she did for me a while back, and just having a piece this big by Jess feels like an honor. Got some rugs and pillows on the floor, a bunch of storage stuff. I guess I'll draw some attention to that now. Because I'm moving, I haven't been opening stuff, and stuff just keeps piling up here. I'm gonna have to move it to the new house and do a bunch of openings there. And we have the flat files where like I keep a bunch of prints, originals, other sort of knickknacks. It's just storage for sort of all the stuff I'm collecting. And I ran out of the first flat file, so I had to get the second one. We have some fabric pieces back here, and then we'll move back over this way, a bunch of sculptures, some Pokemon cards I've gotten over the years, another Austin Taylor, some more Megan Barnes pieces, and some other stuff. And then I have some other sort of like Hayes portraits. So this is done by Homeless Cop. This is done by Nike Skates, Fred Smith, and a few other pieces over there. I have like a fun little pin board. I haven't really been collecting these as much recently, but that was something I used to be really into. So we have the Virgil Abloh rug, and then some other sort of pieces here. Obviously the centerpiece is the Soriyama print, super sexual piece above the bed. Another Sasha gun, an Albert Reyes piece on top and bottom, and over there, a piece by Christofferson, Aaron Riley, and Albert Reyes. We have one of the first paintings I ever made in the corner over there, and a bunch of Luke Pelletier's work over there as well. So all kind of stuff over here. This is sort of like that first painting that I did, and then a bunch of Luke Pelletier's work as well. We're gonna continue on. There's some more prints over here, another C.J. Hendry and a Mr. print. We have some Crystal Wagners and some more C.J. Hendrys up here. And then we've got this, which is really fun. These are some of the necklaces I make. And then if you look over here, there's some Greg Boggin mirror pieces, which are good. And then we step into the flower room. The flower room has a bunch of Murakami flowers. That's obviously why it's called that. These are probably going into storage though and won't be in the new house. So I definitely wanted to show off this room. I have a bunch of Murakami prints and a few silk screens. So this one's a silk screen, that one's a silk screen, and over here is another silk screen, and this is two. And this is a print, this is a print, this is a print, and this is a print. So I got those I ordered them in 2018 in Japan, went and picked them up in 2019. You needed to use a Japanese address, and I sent them to like a 5-star hotel and had them sit for a while. Just sort of a fun story. We have a Ben Ein piece, Brighter, Faster. This was on a wall in Hayes Valley, San Francisco, where I lived before I moved to Los Angeles. Like is what Hayes is named after, Hayes. We have the Boring Company, Not a Flamethrower, presented by Elon Musk. This is sort of like the print that was based on the Kanye West album cover. And I guess I'll come back over here. We have the Fanacapan Rick piece. I love this work because of this sort of like pop imagery, but also the optical illusion that he's able to create. It almost reminds me of Warhol in a way. We have the Kaichi Tainami vinyl. We have the Megan Barnes sculpture, and then a couple sculptures by Jen Dwyer. And then this is my favorite Murakami silkscreen. This is over 200 layers. You can see the gold background, and then each of these different colors is a layered of the silkscreen. So one of the like pieces that I'm most proud of and just think is like the most exciting. And if we come over here, we have some Kenny Scharf, Eric Foss in the back here. We have a James Jean bronze that I really like. This is Friends with You. And this one behind it is actually an Action Bronson edition that he did. There's a Chase Barney flower in the back, two Jenny Holzer pieces. This is a crystal ball that says the future is stupid. We have my little area where I upload and scan all of the Polaroids that I take at openings and studios and parties. And then some more sculptures here. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm gonna walk you outside now and show you some of the sculpture garden. Come on outside. So over the years, I've collected a lot of sculptures that I really love. Let's start over here with one of my favorites. This is Brett Park, who goes by Brett Paints on Instagram. I'm super lucky to have this piece. He did like a little giveaway of it on his TikTok, which I thought was really cool. Over here, we have the Megan Barnes. This went through a tragic accident where it was knocked over, but she sort of came up with this brilliant idea to put the sticker on it, and every time you walk by, you gotta do a little bit of that. And then back here, we have the Luke and Kristen pieces. Those are collab pieces that I got from a show, and the Albert Reyes work. And then, not to be forgotten, we have Little Cardi by Michael Morris, who's a cart. Every time he moves to a new city, he makes sort of like a piece based on that city. So Little Cardi is that piece, and it wheels around and everything. So I thought that was really cool. So yeah, that is the house tour. Thank you so much for joining me, checking it out. Stay tuned for one soon. Hayes will be in the next house tour too. She's peeing right now, which is a great moment to finish off the video. Come here. Come here. This is Hayes, the puppy, and we're moving from Brentwood to Atwater. So this is sort of the last house tour you'll see of this place. But wanted to get it in before I moved. And see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.